And so we were like, let's walk around the street a little bit, look at the houses and stuff. Who doesn't like looking at houses and just seeing, you know, nice houses and think about, maybe I should buy that. Maybe I'll buy that one day, or maybe I'll get some house ideas or whatever. So we were walking around the neighborhood, whatever, and I saw a Black Lives Matter sign, flag, and I was like, I haven't seen that in a while. I turned to my wife, I'm like, I haven't seen that in a long time. A Black Lives Matter anything, T-shirt, flag, yard sign, any of those things. And so I'm over here thinking to myself or out loud, and I'm I'm like, who's the first guy in the neighborhood, mind you, or say your block, say your city block, the first guy who decides to take that down? After 2020 happened and 2020, 2021, and everybody's got Black Lives Matter and all this. It depends on your region, of course. You guys are like, don't you live in Ohio? Isn't that like a Republican town or Republican state? And you're like, where do you find a Black Lives Matter sign there? I live in Cincinnati, so it's a little mixed here. You'll have some neighborhoods where you're seeing like you seeing like Trump 2020 or Trump 2024, and then you see some towns, cities, parts, not cities, some neighborhoods where you'll see Black Lives Matter, and it was probably 50-50, I would say. There was a decent amount where you'd see Black Lives Matter. There was a decent amount you see Trump, whatever. I don't get into all that, but anyway, um, me seeing it, it was just think I was just thinking about that era when it was like nothing but just Black Lives Matter signs and stuff, and and I was just thinking about the fact that if you were in a neighborhood and there's nothing but Black Lives Matter symbols and signs, and you were one of them, when do you take it down? You're cutting the grass and you're like, this thing is in the fucking way, and there's a first cuss word, or second, and you're like, uh, I'm getting tired of taking this out every single time I mow the lawn. I want to just get rid of it, but every other neighbor has it. You know what? Same with the Trump 2024 signs or 2020 signs. Yeah, 2020 signs. When do you take that down? Because people had those up in 2021 and 2022, and all your neighbors have it as well. So this extends to more than just Black Lives Matter or Trump. It actually extends to any cause that is like uniformly decided in your neighborhood. So whatever neighborhood you live in, no matter what your choice of cause is, Ukraine, whatever it is, and every neighbor has the same cause marked in their yard. And then you're like, hey, I'm going to be a part of that too, and you buy the same symbol or whatever, and you plant that in your yard, you plant that on the house, and you decide, hey, I really care about this cause, but I'm getting sick and tired of pulling this out of my yard every single time, and I'm getting sick and tired of having to deal with the fact that it's hitting against my, say you got a flag and the flagpole is like boom 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 bouncing and wobbling or whatever every single time the wind is blowing hard, and you're just getting sick and tired of it whatsoever, and you're like, you know what, I want to get rid of this thing, but every other neighbor has this same thing. What do you do in that instance? Are you that first guy? And then when you're the first guy, you're like, who's gonna notice? Is all my neighbors gonna notice? Do you just say fuck them? I don't really care about my neighbors, or do you say you're like, oh man, I'm gonna get some questions after this. Once I've decided that I'm going to commit to not committing, then I'm gonna look at my neighbors and be like, listen, it was it was good while it lasted. We did it. We did it. Uh, And the worst part of it is when the cause hasn't ended. So, like, say you take down the Ukrainian war flag and the Ukrainian war is still going on. Like, do you gauge social sentiment and say, hey, do you get, and just trying to figure out how often is this spoken on Twitter? How often is this spoken on whatever social media you use? Is this still viable? But everybody still has it up, so someone has to take the initiative and say, you know what? Eh, it's over. We did. They know. They know. They understand, Uh they understand that I care. I don't need to tell you that I care every day, every morning. You know I care. You know I care. I know I care. We did it. We did it. Um Donated $0 except for whatever it cost to buy this, you know, this this representation of my cause, whether it be flag, whether it be sign, whether it be t-shirt, whether it be bumper sticker, whether it be pin on your shirt, whatever it is, mug. Like how often do how long do you keep it? And so then you've got the first guy who takes it down and he's like, I don't care what nobody thinks. I don't care about my neighbors. Whatever. They can think what they want of me, but I'm done with this. I'm getting sick of it. And then what happens to the next guy? He's like, Bill takes it down and then you have Steve and he's like he talks to his wife. He's like, "Sarah, do you notice that Bill took his sign down? You think we could do it too? You think we could you think it's about time for us to take our sign down too? You think we could do that?" So yeah, I think that's I think that's pretty funny. I just think it's funny to think of the first person who decides to make the initiative, and then the second guy who says, "You know what? I've been wanting to take my sign down." It's just like that's pretty funny because it's a choice in your life that doesn't all mean all that much, but it feels like it does. It feels like you're betraying or you're going switching sides or you're like, I've given up. But it's like in actuality you're just like, am I supposed to keep this up till 2030, 2050? Like how long am I supposed to keep it up? Cuz there's not a time where you feel like black lives don't matter. But but you'll be like, "Hey, how long do I need to tell people that I believe that?" Or whatever cause it is. It's like, "Hey, I care about whatever." And you want Trump to win or whatever it is, and you're just like, how long do I show this?"